going to go in through just a brief introduction. I'm going to ask you just a little bit about yourself real quick, and then we'll just kind of explain that we're going into, I guess we'll do normal match history. Team 1, it looks like, is banning. Templar Tubes and the Pie Maker. Yeah, and then we'll just kind of go through, and then we'll get into the draft, let them know that this is just a scrim, yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
Keep it nice and simple. I'm not really worried about making it all big and pretty right now.
No problem.
All right. We are going live in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. We are back with another cast today. What? Styxa casts? Yes, in fact I do. Who would have thunk? We are joined by none other than Dunkstick. And would you like to tell a little bit about yourself, please?
Hey, no problem. Yeah, actually, I just realized Styxa and Dunkstick is actually kind of complicated. A lot of sticks in here.
Oh, there we go.
Master level player looking to expand my stream by casting and picking up a new trade. So it's a fun experience.
Well, I'm glad to have you on. Today we have a scrim between Reborn Knights Black, gotta make sure I don't mix that up, and the new team Game of Throws. So Reborn Knights Black was part of NGS's C division, I believe, or their B division. I'm actually unsure. It goes to Dunk now? Dunk. Where's Dunk?
I'm Dunk.
You're Dunk. The crown. I'm so confused. I'm like, oh goodness. They're trolling me in the chat.
It looks like Zunicorn's looking for the crown.
Zunicorn? I don't actually know who wants the crown. But regardless, I don't think it matters. But Reborn Knights Black versus the Game of Throws. Game of Throws consisting of 3 members, I believe, of the old Regen roster. So no new players to me here. I'm curious to see how these two teams will compare. But today we are starting out on none other than the Dragonshire. So we will be moving on into this. Let's get this show on the road. Here we are. On to Dragonshire. So, Dunk, what are we looking for? What do you think are going to be some very important picks and bans here?
Well, important things are going to be how much wave clear you bring to the table and what you plan on rotating with. Dahaka being banned by blue side showing us that they don't really want to play that global game. So we'll see what red team follows up with. I'd assume another global ban because that's pretty common. You want to get rid of the 2 best globals, which probably be Falstad and Dahaka. But we're going to see what they decide to go with because they may be trying to bait them into a Falstad. Falstad isn't as strong of a solo laner comparatively to, like, let's say, like a Malthael, a Sonya, etc., etc.
Yeah, and, you know, Dahaka does give you that wave clear and the solo lane, as well as another tanky front line. So Dahaka being banned out here shows you don't want to deal with that being your solo laner or the opposing team's solo laner. And it does potentially open up a Garrosh pick, but in comes that Garrosh ban. I absolutely hate playing against this orc. I almost think he has a 100% ban rate when I play, at least, so...
I do not see him in play unless I am first pick on my team.
Yeah, so Garrosh being banned out, but a first pick Zagara being grabbed over on the side of Reborn Knights Black. What are your opinions on that Zagara first pick?
So I'm really wondering if that's like an NGS kind of thing, playing in the NGS as well as watching some of the games. Zagara seems like the go-to solo laner for a lot of players, and she's very strong in the solo lane. A while back they nerfed her regen, but she pretty much outtrades any hero in lane so long as she has mana.
Yeah, especially her early game, Zagara just absolutely a monster with her wave clear and her poke damage with that Mutalisk, Ultralisk, whatever it is.
It's a Hydralisk.
It's a Hydralisk, yes, all the lisks. Thank you. But on the side of Throws here, Game of Throws, we have ETC and Rhaegar. I would call call this a fairly standard draft so far on the side of Game of Throws. ETC probably the best tank in the game currently.
If you don't count Garrosh, ETC is the best tank in the game currently.
Yes. Get rid of Garrosh, ETC wins. But you get the Rhaegar as well, just a standard support, I would say, brings a lot until that Lightning Bond talent is removed from the game. But
all right. So this is very interesting. So we get the standard picks from the red side. It's pretty smart. Grab your tank and your healer, because you're either going to give up your tank and healer while they also get a strong solo lane, or you're going to give over tank and healer, pick maybe a good solo laner with a good squishy like Vala, but then run the risk of getting banned out of something. This just gives you a good base set of heroes to go with. Now, blue team picked up the Tastar and the Vala, which is smart because you get that hyper carry Vala. My only issue with it is they went with the Zagara top lane. They're looking very squishy into a team that can very easily set up kills with ETC.
Yeah, you have a team with that ETC. ETC is very well known for those rotations and those ganks, especially when paired with other people who have roots or stuns, such as Kerrigan per se. But Vala, very well known in hyper carry situations, pairs extremely well with the Tassadar, but I do agree with those squishies there. So you do have to pick up a tank and what is most likely going to be your main support, which I would have presumed to have been the Ariel. But of course, we do see Game of Throws banning out the Ariel here, and I would say that's a very solid ban. You know, you get rid of a great synergy there.
I'm actually kind of astonished they go with the Ariel ban. She hasn't really seen a lot of play. She's still strong in her own regard, but I feel like the cooldown nerf to her heal really hit her really hard, and it became a lot harder to play around her. And them banning her, she's a cleanseless hero with another cleanseless support. That would have been a pretty big deal for their ETC squad. Ooh, that is a pretty dirty combo they just picked up.
I do agree with your Ariel post there. No cleanse on one team could be quite dangerous. The Greymane Abathur though, didn't expect to see the Abathur pick, to be honest, but double Greymanes at level 10 or double ETCs even is going to be absolutely insane. You have to keep an eye out for that Abathur clone, and just this opens up another opportunity of bringing in another support or another tank, because you do have that Abathur top half for a little bit of poke damage, and I said the clone brings you in what is essentially another damage. It gives you some lane clear, or sort of more some just a late game push.
Yep.
And along those lines with the Abathur. So I'm curious to see what Reborn Knights Black.
I actually want to talk about that for a second. So it's really important to note, red team has Crazy Ivan on their team, and he is definitely a hyper carry aggressive assassin player, and his go-to pick is definitely Vala. So enemy team picked it up. His next pick is Greymane, and with Abathur, he's gonna be straight up deadly in that combo. Them rocking a solo tank, wow. Solo tank Arthas, wow. That's gonna be trippy with the kind of comp that they're running, but wow, I don't even know what to say about that last pick.
I think the Arthas is acceptable in the terms that you reduce the attack speed of Greymane, but keep in mind a lot of Greymane's teamfight damage is done with those cocktails, so you're gonna have to keep an eye on that, and then pick up the Lucio, potentially for the rotational speed boost. But as we're looking right now, Chen versus Zagara, I presume Chen versus Zagara in the top lane.
Yes, definitely Chen versus Zagara.
Yeah. I'm thinking Zagara wins that early game, and then it kind of balances out a little bit more. You know, Chen does have a little bit of poke with that WE combo, or EW, whatever.
So this is really important. I really wonder what they're going to do here. Chen is a fantastic tank solo laner into Zagara, because he can soak up so much of her poke just by spamming his shield. Now, if Abathur hats Chen when Chen jumps on her or while they're trading, and we'll see if the level 1 talent comes out for it, That is going to be a fantastic lane for Chen because he is a manaless hero into a hero that requires mana to win lanes.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I'm interested to see that as well, but we are getting well into game number 1, and of course we have the wrong overlay on, but that is okay. We will fix that up. We have Crafty Devil on Zagara the Pie Maker playing Vala, Zedok on the Lucio, Dronos or Kronos there on the Tassadar, and Rain rounding it up for Reborn Knights Black on the Arthas.
Yep, following it up on Game of Thrones, we got Templar T on that ETC, rocking that Studley bike. Kaiser running around on Wolf Dog, Mr. Rhaegar. Crazy Ivan rocking that Greymane with the sick new skin. Pajamather being played by Zul'Kan, and the one and only legendary Zunicorn, once in a lifetime seen now today, playing Chen.
Alright, so we see Game of Thrones go immediately for that bot lane, and a lot of damage already coming out from Vala. You got them chasing down that ETC. ETC going to be booped back by the Lucio, taken down quite early on into this game. You already see that pick right off the beginning.
That is a very interesting strategy. Not many teams would start bottom. It's a much slower rotation because the lane takes too long to come down into the lane. But lag by Crazy Ivan.
Here.
I want to talk a little bit more though about that ETC pick because it's really going to show off the strength of the Arthas with the Lucio. Arthas will not lose you with his slow while he has a main speed boost, and Lucio showed why it's so strong by zooming ahead of them and just knocking him even farther back into the team.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. You've got this is what the rotation is going to be with that Lucio speed boost in combination with Arthas. You know, you provide the slows and you have a speed boost. Now you're going to be looking to catch people out of lane, people who have pushed up too far. And especially with Abathur, you know, you are going to be a man down, so you're going to be looking at a 3v4 for the most part. Well, and I do find it interesting that they went for the bottom because, as you did mention, you do have the middle lane's minions who reach together before any of the other lanes.
Yeah. Now, look at this talent choices. Everything's normal. Everything looks exactly how you expect. We're going auto attack build out of Vala, which is different, but it's still pretty normal. All her builds are pretty good. The Abathur's survival instincts really sticks out to me because that is not a common pick pretty much anywhere. You either want to see the additional spike or the shield heal, and I really wish he would have gone the shield heal because they're running a double support against a single support. We got a countdown.
Yeah, I got it. Here we go. 3, 2.
Chen is still winning that top lane if you look up there, but I'm really curious as to why they didn't decide to go with the heal.
Yeah, I think that Abathur pick is debatable, let's say. But, you know, everybody has a build strategy, and hopefully this pans out and it wasn't a misclick there. But we're going to see that 4-man rotation coming out of Reborn Knights here, and they're going to just apply this for the most of the game. They're going to be looking to just rotate in and back down, but we do have both shrines being captured here by Game of Thrones as both teams look forward to getting level 4 here.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is leaving Abathur solo mid. I mean, yes, he can clear out those waves, but those towers have no ammo on them. He is not a fast clear.
Yeah, you see those towers already taken down, or the ammo at least. And keeping in mind, ammo won't be an issue within the upcoming patch.
No, it will not.
Very shortly. But we've got that 3v3 here in the bottom lane right now as Tassadar has rotated up to the middle lane. Abathur's chilling up in that top lane now. Gonna probably be helping out the Chen. Maybe a little bit of hats down in the bottom lane. But wave clear seemed to be a little bit of an issue right now on the side of Game of Thrones as we have the ETC slide in onto that Arthas. Vala going to be a little bit pushed back, but Arthas with those slows and the roots going to be zoning out the opposing team as Rain going to have to look for some heals here from the Lucio.
I will say, Game of Thrones is really trying to hold out this triple bottom lane because they kind of have to. If at any point they decide to rotate top, this is a dead lane. The blue team is just going to run through it. Reborn Black Knights, Black is just going to... Is it Reborn Black Knights?
Reborn Knights Black.
Oh my god. Reborn Knights Black. Oh man, that's definitely work. Kaiser coming in,
All
just trying
right.
to take this camp. They're trying to steal it.
Yeah, you see the very late rotation here by ETC and Greymane. They're going to end up losing the Rhaegar and the camp. ETC trying to slide in, unfortunately, will not be in time. Great play and heads up map awareness there by the Lucio and the Arthas rotating in, noticing that the Rhaegar was gone there, going to be able to grab that siege camp, which will now take 2 members of Game of Thrones away from the lane, allowing them to get a little bit more lane pressure, pushing into these towers. As you can see, the towers are nearly out of ammo here, but a couple more root stacks here for Arthas, and Arthas taking a lot of damage from the Greymane now. Does have to be wary that Lucio's heals are over time. They will take a while to stack up on him, pretty much like a Muradin trait almost. So
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a free heal too. It doesn't cost him any mana. He just sits there, even though it's ticking up very slowly. It's steady, slow and steady wins the race. You know what I'm saying?
for sure, we have Tassar rotate down, but going to be rotating back up. Zulkin does need to be very cautious here. He does notice that the Tassar are rotating up thanks to those mines in the middle. He is going to make his way up just to make sure he avoids the vision there. Pops a little bit of mines down, but let's go up to the top lane.
Oh wait,
here.
they're killing Arthas. They're going Arthas. Wow, that was a beautiful slide.
Oh, of course.
Lucio left the lane, and ETC swept through. No peels for Arthas. He went right down.
Well, there you go. This is why it's good having 2 casters. One person can call out what the other misses, and obviously me on camera duty is not doing very well. But we do notice that both shrines are being held by Game of Thrones here, despite the level lead going over to Reborn Knights Black. Abathur versus Tassar in that middle lane. Tassar trying to scout out the Abathur in the lane. He does move away though. Tassar still looking for the Abathur, but won't be able to find him. Top lane, Zunicorn definitely winning this lane, maybe looking to push in a little bit further. Does have that creep clear as well, which we didn't mention before. Look at this, top lane, Zagara gonna have to hearth back or at least tap here.
They're pushing on them
Chen
bottom.
moves anywhere down into the bottom. ETC gonna be able to slide.
Wow, Abathur snuck in the DK in mid.
But Abathur on that Dragon Knight mid, that's gonna be applying some pressure here on the middle lane, forcing the members of Reborn Knights up to deal with that. But they do need to be cautious here, especially because level 10 has not been reached. Lucio getting punted into towers, but thanks to that ammo being gone, we have a pause. Thanks to the ammo being gone, Lucio won't take too much damage there. Ragnarok 323.
So I'm looking at this Abathur's build, and I'm really thinking that level 1 was a misclick, seeing what he followed up with.
Yeah, looking at increased attack speed here and needle spine. We're definitely looking at a hat build, so most likely, I don't even remember the talent, but definitely I'm going to go with the misclick here on poor old Zulkin there. But keeping in mind here, with the Abathur being inside the Dragon Knight, level 10 is not being reached, which means he does not have an easy escape. So he does need to be cautious of that health and the timer. Keeping in mind he does have 50%. So he is going to need to back up like mad. You know what? Hold on. It's only fair. All right.
Looks like they're ready to go.
I'm gonna Control Alt F. We have a central, so.
Yep.
All right. All right. You want to do the resume and I'll do the countdown?
I don't even know how to do it. Oh, I found it. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, you just click on the
Yep.
escape and then resume. Alrighty. Alright, we good? Let's make sure. We ready? And we ready? 3, 2, 1, and you can resume. Perfect. Look at that.
Teamwork.
Meanwhile, teamwork. Look at that. Now they are using this dragon as a distraction to keep the bottom lane in tied, but Abathur unable to dig his way out, but the punt onto the Arthas will take him down to about 50% health. Arthas now rotating up to that top lane, looking to invade up onto the Chen there. as the remaining members of Game of Thrones do move down to the bottom lane. They did get a lot of work down there, getting all the towers, moving back up to the top lane. Chen getting rooted, is looking to move in on to the Arthas.
He did take Stormworth Fire.
Maybe an Abathur had here indeed. Chen getting that level 10, going to be moving in onto the Zagara, chasing very hard here. Doesn't have the jumps to get over the wall, unfortunately. Will be moving away. Zagara will live to see another day, popping that Nidus into that top lane.
So, really important here, and we didn't notice this earlier. Zagara went Serrated Spines at level 4, and I think this was 100% the correct answer against the Chen pick. She has 103 stacks, which means her auto attacks are hitting for 30 more damage every single time, and that'll go up by 0.3 every single time she throws one out. And that is a lot of damage.
That's an insane pick, especially on a Chen, somebody who's going to be sitting there and just taking that. That's a pretty solid pick. We do see the Cursed Bullet, though, come out onto the Arthas, going to be taking a little bit of damage there.
Very good scare tactic.
Yeah, a little bit of a scare tactic. It is a short cooldown, so they don't have to worry about that too much. What do we got here? I was looking at something. We have Army of the Dead, which is expected, but we do have Reborn Knights invading onto the siege camp here. Templar getting scouted out by the Arthas. Greymane going for a little bit of cocktails there. They are going to use the wall to zone out, which I believe is an excellent play here, just to avoid the ETC slide. And did we pick up Mosh Pit?
Yes, we did.
That's stage dive.
That is Mosh Pit.
It is Mosh Pit. Look at that. So we do have the Mosh Pit, potential good Mosh Pit here. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get that in time as they do back off. But Shrines are back up. ETC moving in does avoid the route. Now you've got Arthas stuck in the middle of 3. Out comes the Cursed Bullet. Army of the Dead going out. We are going to complete the quest, though. Arthas being stunned. Great stun there. Power Slide going in, and the Shield of Lucio a little bit too late there, unfortunately. They're going to be able to pick up Arthas. Now we're looking at double support and a hyper carry versus a tank here, and this is going to be a little bit difficult for Reborn Knights to play, especially if we have ETC move in, but excellent
took the Knight again.
That solo Mosh here, they're going to dive in onto that Vala, the wall going out. They will be able to secure that Vala kill, as once again, Abathur grabbing the Dragon Knight in the middle lane. Now we've got the 3 members pushing that bottom fort as the Dragon will wail away into the middle, and Chen soaking that top lane.
So we're at a point where Lucio's static healing doesn't do enough active healing to ward off a Greymane jumping on Arthas or Vala, which is why we're seeing Game of Thrones winning that 3-man now. And anytime they pull Cassadar down, they just take the Knight and walk with it.
Yeah,
great rotational play by them.
It is. It's
or lack thereof would actually be a better way to put it.
Yeah, it's a very heads-up play by Zulkin there, knowing that the Tassadar is in the bottom lane helping out the friendlies for Tassadar, that is. And this allows the Abathur to make their way over to the objective without having to worry about being interrupted or killed due to that low HP pool. So they're going to opt to trade off the Dragon Knight there, not bother using the rest of the time or the health. They know that they don't have too much of that remaining. Sending Abathur up to that top lane, gonna apply a little bit of pressure up there. But we have Chen diving in on the Arthas. The wall goes down. Army of the Dead coming out. Cursed Bullet does miss, I believe, as ETC is getting bodied here. Great Rain of Vengeance. The cleanse does come out.
That's gonna be an Abathur clone to buy time. Nope, here they go. They're going for the re-engage. That sound barrier out. Vala's pulling back. Great triple stun. There's really nothing they can do to get past that Arthas and those walls. It's a great knockback. Oh, swing through, push the healers. That is a perfect pick onto Arthas. Chen keeps going in.
Slide there. Great power slide and knockback there by the ETC. Gonna be able to, can't think of the word here, but put the Arthas on his own, separating them from the double support there. No shields means no heals, no sustain, especially with Army of the Dead being popped a little bit earlier into the fight. So we are looking at a 1-for-0 pick in the favor of Game of Thrones here. Abathur squiggling his way down to the bottom lane, gonna be chilling in the middle lane there as Game of Thrones looks to pick up their siege camping.
So I want to talk about this moment. So he cloned Rhaegar in that fight. In a fight they were losing pretty heavily because of the double support comp. Abathur being able to clone Rhaegar and also getting a 10% AP boost was fantastic for helping topping off ETC so they could re-engage on that Arthas without risking losing another member.
100%, I do agree with that. You know, picking up that Rhaegar. Rhaegar does have that chain heal, which means you're going to be able to heal upwards 3 members of your team at any time there. Unfortunately, it is untalented, of course, but you do have the, I believe you get an attack damage boost as well. So, and Rhaegar does provide a lot of damage in team fights, especially if you're getting down and dirty with it there. But once again, both shrines being held by Game of Throws. They do have that level 16 talent advantage. But something to point out this time is that Chen is the one in the Dragonite. They're going to be looking to push as 4 here. ETC potentially coming in with a Mosh Pit. Does hit the slide on to the Arthas. No Army of the Dead being popped just yet. They're going to be using this now to push the bottom keep wall now, as Abathur soaks that top lane, leaving Zagara up there as well. This is a 4v4 with the Dragonite. Cocktails are wailing away at that backline as well. Vala does need to keep in mind where they are positioned, need to move back behind the Arthas as the Dragonite continues here. They're going to be able to pick up the Abathur in the top lane as the Dragonite is also
He's just such
down.
a tank.
Wall coming out.
That huge shield. It's like that. It's like 12,100 health. He's just tanking it. Doesn't even care. He's just walking away. And he's going to go big, and they're going to turn this around. Grayman getting caught by that wall. Good Ancestral to keep him up.
Followed by the Ancestral healing onto the Greymane. Greymane does have the opportunity to move back in. 2 of the Chen clones will be falling here, but that does not mean Chen will fall. ETC still has Mosh Pit up, but will opt to not use it. You are looking to hit at least Lucio and Vala in that, as they are the ones that have the interrupts for that Mosh Pit. Unfortunately, no good opportunities arise. They are able to get the wall and about half a keep in trade with the Abathur kill here, and losing Abathur there just gives level 16 over to the side of Reborn Knight in Black.
Yeah, it's important to know Abathur was super focused on that fight, and Zagara took advantage of it and just killed him. Sat found him in a bush and just finished him off.
Keeping in mind,
oh, look at this 3-man mosh.
Walk in to take the camp with that excellent mosh. He sees the opportunity. He knows that the kills are worth more than the camp, and he moves in with a beautiful mosh pit, followed up by what a nice route there. But unfortunately, this keep does not have any ammo, and that is more than a dead Arthas, knowing very well not to pop that Army of the Dead. That's too long of a cooldown for the length of time that you will be out of the fight. And that's going to be 3 kills for O there in favor of Game of Throws, and the Shrines popping up very shortly.
You know, they call that the hard camp, and it doesn't get any harder than losing 3 of your teammates.
Definitely there. You've got Zagara grabbing the siege camp in the bottom lane here, as Greymane and HTC will move in to clear that. Chen and Rhaegar are going to be popping off their siege camp there on the right-hand side, and they are going to be regrouping as 4 in that bottom lane, going to be owning both of the shrines once again. Abathur up to the top lane to capture that. Chen into the middle, going to be starting up that cap. No members of Reborn Knights going to be able to apply any pressure onto those shrines, as level 20 is just around the corner for Game of Thrones.
I wonder if Game of Thrones is going to slow play this just a little bit, get that level 20, give themselves that talent advantage before putting them in a position where they can be re-engaged. Need about another half wave. There it is. Abathur soaking it perfectly up top.
There you go. Level 20 now for the side of Game of Thrones. This will give them a massive talent advantage, especially now that we have Bolt of the Storm coming out of ETC. Is that what that is?
Yes, it is. Bolt of the Storm.
It is Bolt of the Storm. So you can see that they are playing this quite slow. They do grab that keep, make their way up to the middle lane here, hopefully looking to pick off at least the towers here. I imagine they can get that, especially if they have that minion wave making their way back in. Abathur sitting in that bottom lane, soaking that lane as well, pushing out the top lane, is making its way into that top keep. They're going to be able to grab that wall. Cocktails taking a chunk out of Tassadar and the Arthas here, looking for a little bit more poke damage onto that Vala, as The Curse Bullet comes out onto the Arthas. Greyman getting rooted here, but the middle fort will go down as the Dragonite wails away into the Arthas. Bro Shield coming out from the Lucio, as Chen will now look to get away, but the Greyman getting rooted. Excellent route, followed up by a great wall to deny the escape, but the Mosh Pit coming in, gonna be able to pick up, I believe, 3 members there, or 2 in a bit, as Tassadar barely able to get away, but we do lose the Zagara and the Vala.
Bolt to the Storm to finish it off.
Great
Comes
power
in.
slide there. Gonna be able to pick up 2 more members, and this is definitely going to be game number 1, going over to the side of Game of Throws on Dragonshire.
Now, I really feel like Reborn Knight Black had a really good opportunity to really pressure that early game with more aggressive rotations. Essentially, at any point, if they had their 4-man anywhere, they should be able to win the lane. And they showed it by getting those early kills on ETC and really making that bottom lane their own. They kind of played straight into what Game of Thrones wanted them to do. They sat bottom lane and let the game move on. That late game Greymane Abathur Chen comp just took off and completely controlled the outcome of that game. Every time they decided to rotate as a 4-man to try and counter the 3-man once it got to the point that they were strong enough, Abathur just took the Dragonite, and the objective is meaningless, and they had to react to it. They lost all their pressure at that point.
It's great heads-up play there by Game of Throws, most definitely, and it sucks to get punished from what is a fairly decent team composition going into the opposing team. You know, Abathur can't get too much done pre-level 10 having the clone, and keep in mind the potential talent pick error there.
Yeah.
So it is something to keep in mind that pre-level 10 should have been something that you're looking to get some pressure done. And you know, you do have the Arthas roots and the slows and the speed boost of Lucio, so something like that you're going to be definitely looking to apply a little bit more pressure in, and unfortunately they were unable to do so.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder how the comms were for RBK, because there's a lot of times where it felt like Arthas had like, wow, he made that snare, like they're going to go in on him, like suit on Greymane, like it's a dead Greymane, and they slow played it a lot. Like Greymane kind of gradually lost his HP and then never really died, and then Easy Ancestral comes out and he's topped off, and it's a whole nother game.
And then in comes the re-engage. Yeah, most definitely. And it's unfortunate to see that happen, but you know, this is what scrims are for.
Yep. It's important to realize what went wrong and tackle it with a whole nother mentality.
Alright, we will get this up and running. You guys get to see this lovely blank screen for now. This is what I call placeholder. So dealing with that, what is this?
Braxis Holdout. Fan favorite.
I have to keep this in mind. Who's this?
You want to make me host real quick so I can move people around?
Oh, no, I got it. Don't worry, I can do this. Make observer. Oh, Baja's in here too? What the heck? Okay, we can't have any more observers.
Literally can't.
The most casted scrim of the season. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of people in here. This is a full lobby, ladies and gentlemen. Full lobby.
No, I'm really impressed with the fact that Game of Thrones decided to bring out Abathur. Not a lot of teams are willing to bring that out into play. Scrims is definitely the best place to try it out and see how it works. But a lot of people A lot of players feel hindered by the hero. He's a very good hero, and if played well, does a lot. Keyword terms being played well.
Yeah, and you did see I would say, excellent positioning and good body soaking from the Abathur, and very heads up to keep in mind that the Tassadar was moving around, and they do have that vision, so excellent getting out of the lanes and stuff.
Yeah,
like
that
so,
when early game when he was playing above the shrine and kept bouncing back and forth while Tassadar was trying to get vision of him was absolutely perfect. It's 100% what he needed to do to make sure he got the soak and didn't get zoned out of it while also being able to help his team.
No, I definitely agree. We're just getting some things set up into this lobby now. People are asking me what server we are on, and we are playing on Central, as I would say as it should be in the case of a couple of these players are are on the eastern coast as well. So we would like to keep it as evenly matched as possible. We did see a couple of players lag a little in the previous one, but it's hard to get everybody what they want here. All right, it looks like we've got that. We ready? Let's see if the Hedgie wants the crown. I can't give you a crown, Hedgie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right, we have game number 2 going on right now. We are on Brax's holdout here. We can give you a crayon. Yes, we could. Game number 2 on Brax's holdout. This is being picked up by Reborn Knights Black, as the opposing team, Game of Thrones, did pick the first map here. So, Ban and the pick will go over to the side of Game of Thrones here. What are we expecting to see?
I think we're going to see Chromie and Medic in some way, some shape, or some form. Chromie is the cream of the crop poke hero on a map that requires absolute control of points. She's very hard to dive. She brings moderate amounts of wave clear, albeit on her biggest hit, and she scales very hard into the late game, while still having a very good early game. Medic.
See that Tassadar ban, though.
That is probably because of the double support comps.
That's true.
Tassadar Medic is probably one of the scariest things to see in this map, because you get a Medic and you get a Tassadar and you get a Vala and you just endlessly attack the enemy team. You don't even need to worry about the damage you're going to take, because you're going to get a shield, you're going to get a damage reduction, and you're going to get a healing beam. And then you're going to get a grenade, you're going to get a wall. It's so hard to kill on a point control map a TAS with a Medic and a Vala. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I definitely do. I do agree with that. As somebody who has played against a Morales and a Vala there with that second support, it hurts a lot. But as always, the Orc gets banned. No more Garrosh, which means ETC being picked up, number 1 tank right now. And now we see potentially what? Dahaka coming out of the side of Reborn Knights Black? I'm thinking.
Well,
maybe...
I don't know, because Reborn Knights Black is the team that banned the Dahaka, which kind of tells me they don't really like it. I could see them picking up Zagara again. She's a fantastic solo laner on this map. She can be very dominant about her point control, and she can help clear the wave should they lose. She has very good wave clear. But we already know Zunicorn plays that magical Chen hero who's never before seen, so that's a tough one. I don't know who they play. Maybe a Sonya? There's the Chromie. And Stukov.
There's the Chromie and the Stukov.
In matching colors.
Nice. It's cute. I'm not sure how I feel about the Stukov pick right now. I guess Stukov gives you an easy silence on the ETC, potentially ETC Mosh. Chromie, as we did mention before, great pickup here. How do we feel about Gul'dan?
Gul'dan,
a mage of some kind.
Gul'dan would give Game of Thrones a very clear and distinct advantage with their wave clear. The issue with Gul'dan I find into a Chromie pick is until you get your spell shield, you are very susceptible to a random full combo.
That's very true. It
If
is very. Gotta keep that in mind. Yeah.
the only way I see it is if we see Medic Gul'dan. That's exactly what I was gonna say. If we see a Medic, I will trust a Gul'dan pick, and I like the pick, but I also hate the pick because I also consider Chromie my ultimate counter to Lieutenant Morales. Her damage is straight up burst. If she can 100 to 0 you, it doesn't matter how steady her healing is.
Nope. That's that. Yep. Yeah. Just yeah. Can 100% agree. But keeping in mind, Morales does have cleanse, or at least I believe she has cleanse.
I believe they took it away from her.
Damn it! We
But
have more reason to pick up.
it is a better matchup now because Morales no longer has to worry about mana, just energy. And
Yes, that is true, and you do regen energy by auto attacking things. So
I
that
think
is,
I think we're gonna see a Genji ban, or we're gonna see a Greymane ban here. Genji is very good about getting onto Chromie. Oh nope, we're gonna see Dahaka.
we're looking at a Dahaka ban here, huh?
It's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have seen a Dahaka come out from the side of Game of Thrones. So,
Yeah.
again, it is a plausible pick, 100% plausible pick. It provides you with a solo laner that Game of Thrones doesn't have. It provides you with additional wave clear, extra CC, body, the standard Dahaka-ness.
I think we're gonna see a Bruiser out of Game of Thrones with another burst damage, or with a burst damage like Greymane or Genji. I think ban wise, the best ban here probably is either going to be Muradin or Sonya.
Yeah, I'm thinking Sonya here. Sonya gives you camp clears, gives you a little bit of wave clear, top lane solo laner, gives you a bulky front line. That ancient spear, has it been nerfed yet?
Wow.
I don't know.
I understand the ban.
But do we agree?
I don't think it was necessary. I think good play can counter Stitch's hooks. I don't. The only way I can see Stitches being super effective is if they decide to go with like a Medivh second support, but in which case they're going to be losing a lot of their wave clear potential against a Gul'dan, and that's just really not something we want to see here.
Yeah, and if you do pick up a Stitches, usually you do see that cheese combo with the Medivh, and as you said, you do lose a ton of wave clear. But I'm thinking we're going to be seeing at least a tank here. I imagine Muradin.
I can imagine a Muradin and a Sonya coming out right now. Nope. Double healer, Nubrak.
So we're going with the ever so popular resident sleeper double healer here in the form of Rhaegar, Stukov, and that Anubarak there. I'm not sure how I feel about Anubarak. I do like Spell Shield, but I feel like Gul'dan kind of eats away at that because poison damage kind of like, as far as I know, it counts as spell damage, and it just like destroys spell shields.
Yep. And that really opens it up to what I said before, which would be a Sonya Greymane. I think that brings a lot of tankiness and a lot of follow-up burst, and Greymane works really well with Medic as well.
Yeah, I imagine we'll be seeing a Greymane as well. It gives you the cocktails. The cocktails can do a ton of poke damage. It gives you dive potential, especially if you're looking to dive onto that Chromie. You do have to keep in mind that Stukov does have a little bit of silence potential as well as a knockback. But there you go. There's the Sonya and the Greymane. That'll give you the Bruiser and the dive that you're looking for.
Malthael. That's the only one I can think of. Healing reduction. Healing reduction. He can beat a Sonya in lane. He can get away from like the dive using his jukes. He has a very good burst healer out of Rhaegar. And he's just a good overall solo laner on this map. I think it's got to be the Malthael.
I think Malthael is a solid pick here. I'm trying to think of what else we would see. I mean, Zagara does have the possibility, but how does that fare into a Sonya? You have to keep in mind that you need somebody who's going to be able to outpoke or outburst the Morales heals. I mean, you do have Chromie.
Ragnaros.
Rag.
Okay. They're looking to play very defensively. They have the solution if Game of Thrones wins a turn-in. They just pop the Rag passive and clear the wave. But they also have... They're basically... Yeah, they're basically... I wonder... They could be Lava Wave. It could be. It's very good control this map. But if they go Temporal Loop, hit the medic with like a Sulfurous Smash on top of that, that is a dead medic.
It's almost a dead everybody.
Yeah. That... Oh, I wonder what they're going to do. I love a good Wombo. Oh, it's always so tasteful.
I'm curious to see this as well, so... keeping in mind, we do have a potential leap onto Mosh Pit as well.
I will say this. It's a double support with an Anubrak, which means against a solo support. We could just see a web wrap into a straight up team fight because that is a fairly good amount of damage.
Medic,
If that's a fairly good amount of damage, you remove the medic, what do they have left?
Yeah, just a lot of poke in the form of cocktails and Gul'dan, but let's get this game underway. Hopefully we have, yes, look at that. Oh, beautiful. I fixed it. Just don't worry. Alrighty, guys. On the left-hand side, in the blue, we have Reborn Knights Black. We got Rain playing Anubrak, Zedok playing the Rhaegar, Crafty Devil on Ragnaros, the Pie Maker on Chromie, and rounding it all up, we have, oh god, I'm gonna butcher this, Kronos? I'm gonna go with Kronos, on the Stukov.
And on the red side, we got Crazy Ivan renewing his position as Greymane, Templar playing the ETC again, Kaiser switching it up, playing Lieutenant Morales, the medic, Zul'Kan whipping out the Gul'dan, looking to clear some waves, and Sonya running block in the top lane, trying to win the trades.
Played by the Zunicorn. Awesome. All right, so we're gonna see a split right here in the form of a 3-2. Game of Thrones playing it very defensively. They are playing in the middle here just to kind of get an idea of where the opposing team might be. They do see the two members in the top lane, I presume, but already Chromie dishing out the damage onto the Gul'dan. Gul'dan's gonna need to be careful, especially when using that life drain. Gonna have to make sure that you don't stay too still, but we do see the Anub'arak go for that dive onto the globe. We want the globe. It's being made clear here. Let's take a quick look here at talents. Oh, am I pressing the wrong button? There we go. We do have a Q build coming out of the Rag. Block, I think, is an interesting pick. Block doesn't block Sulfurous, does it?
It does not. It does, however, block the auto attack reset from it. So it is a very important tool against such a hero. Because Sulfurous actually does hit fairly hard as just a regular melee attack.
It's very true, yes. We got Cocktail build, pretty standard. Q build coming out of Gul'dan, though. What is your opinion on the Q versus E, especially on a 2-lane map?
For Gul'dan?
Yes.
On this kind of map, you typically see that you're brawling the entire time, and you're able to just stack up either one very quickly. The advantage to stacking the Q, though, is it makes it very easy to clear everything. Heroes, the lane, the Zerglings. That's why a lot of people stick with that talent. That being said, it's also better against double support because it's not reliant on one ability. Or I shouldn't say, it's not reliant on a long cooldown ability. The dot is very easy to heal up when you have double support.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, this does give you a little bit of burst here as well, so that is something to keep in mind. But
Game of Thrones stormed that.
100-0. Going out to the side of Game of Throws. You see Sonya Greymane dueling it up with Rhaegar and Ragnaros in that top lane, and that objective is going to be pushing out the top lane as we see the 3 members of Game of Thrones clear out that absolutely massive Zerg wave of Reborn Knights. Ragnaros using that trait of his in that top lane, going to be using that to clear up as many as those Zergs as we can, including the minions. Rhaegar just playing it a little bit defensively here, but tower's going to go down, and they might be looking to engage out here onto the Ragnaros with a well-timed spear there. The tap will be used. Crafty Devil going to have to play it safe. Bottom lane, though, ETC zoning out that Anubarak. The Qs of Gul'dan stacking up as well. Anubarak going to have to back up. The damage from Chromie is starting to pile on. It is a lot for Morales to manage, especially sitting at what is 0 mana here. You got Anubarak diving hard onto the Morales, but Morales will be able to get away, but the body blocking will force her into the corner. Chromie low on mana as well, but Anubarak being forced out of the fight. Gul'dan providing way too much poke damage with that Q build there.
So I want to talk about this for a second. Chromie is, for the most part, a single target hero. Yes, if she hits her Dragon's Breath on more than one target, you consider it AoE, but it's very small reticule, and she did not buff it to increase the radius. So that is kind of playing into medic strength. So only one person is taking damage at any given time. That's really helping to ablate the poke from her. Very aggressive positioning by the Anubarak. He's feeling pretty comfortable. It is a spell damage dealer. It's very hard to kill him with just Gul'dan. We're looking at a pure DPS build coming out of Sonya outside of the block, looking to burst people. I think that's the right way to play this. They are going to look to win this game by bursting the opponents before the opponents can burst them.
You see the fort fall in the top lane, but Morales getting stopped in that trap. Gul'dan looking to get a little bit of healing here. Morales taking a ton of damage from that Chromie combo, but ETC playing it a little bit aggressive here, looking to zone out that Anubarak as Anubarak goes in for the globe. ETC pushing them into the corner, looking to dive onto the Stukov, gets the slide, but the Anubarak also going to be stunning out that Gul'dan there. Morales looking to heal the Gul'dan up, does get a little bit of sustain thanks to his level 4 talent there, as both teams now level 7. Stukov is quite low, going to be looking for a little bit of self-heals here, spreading it over to the Anubarak. Chromie getting zoned out by the ETC. ETC looking to move in, but Anubarak going with the stun onto the Gul'dan. It is a poke war down in this bottom lane, but we got Greymane moving in to make it a 4v3 here potentially, but Crazy Ivan will opt to move up to the top. The silence of Stukov going to be used to help negate a lot of the damage of the Gul'dan and the zoning potential of the ETC there, but the shrines are up and both will be held by Game of Throws.
You know, I'm gonna go out and say it. I love this 3v3. It's absolutely fantastic to watch. The poke battle is crazy to watch because Stukov with his AoE sustain versus Medic with that single target sustain, and the health numbers just keep going back and forth. Every time I think they're gonna kill Gul'dan, oh no, they're gonna kill Chromie, oh they're gonna kill Anubarak, and then no one dies, and it's very entertaining to watch this back and forth.
100%.
Oh, that's a knockback into the silence. Ooh, that was a very close one.
ETC getting stunned there. Now, I thought I just saw an unstoppable pop up, but
nope, no cleanse.
Okay, I thought I saw an unstoppable, but
she can remove a slow with her safeguard now, but that's it. No stun removal.
All right. We do have the Rag Drake coming up onto the bottom lane now. We are going to be using that to take down as much of the Zerg wave as possible, but that Gray will be absolutely annihilated pretty early on. ETC taking a chunk of damage here from the Chromie, but we do have all 5 members chilling down here in that bottom lane, looking to avoid as much of the Chromie damage as possible. Level 10 is now being reached by the side of Game of Throws. They do need to be careful here on the side of Reborn Knights. The trap will be able to pick off the ETC temporarily, and that zoning potential of Stukov gonna push them a little bit closer to the towers here. Not necessarily the most ideal spot, but it does allow Chromie to get as many of those Qs in as possible. We're already sitting at around 50 here, and we are well on our way to getting that quest completely done. But keep in mind, they are looking to push in a keep now, as Sonya rotates up to the top lane, hoping to potentially catch off that Rhaegar. Game of Thrones knows that their Zerg wave is done, and they're going to back up, play it a little bit safe, as we see 3 members here of Reborn Knights looking to Hearth here back for the mana, as Greymane looks to engage out onto this easy camp here.
So I want to talk for this moment. We got a leap out of Sonya with a Medivac dropship. We are going to see some crazy engages. I'm actually a little disappointed they did not continue sieging that keep. The only ranged wave clear they had left was Chromie, and Ragnaros' passive was down while they had a heroic upgrade. I really would have liked to see them try to jump on them and make some plays happen. I really think Game of Thrones wave clear advantage is definitely showing its strategic advantages. Both walls and forts are available still for Game of Thrones, while Reborn Knights Black is struggling with just 1 keep wall and 2 keeps. It's going to be really interesting to see how they fight over shrines now when there's nothing for Reborn Knights Black to keep themselves healthy with.
The team name is a mouthful, man.
It is rough.
All right, so we do have Game of Thrones looking to engage here, stunned by the Anubarak, but he is going to be tanking quite a few stacks of that corruption there, dealing quite a bit of damage onto him, but will be topped up by that double support, and that's why the double support meta is a thing. Chromie going for a little bit of poke damage onto that ETC, as the members of Game of Thrones look to engage onto the hard camp here of Reborn Knights Black. We got the regen quest being completed here by ETC, so we have some group healing now, which is like a healer and a half in the form of what is groupies, effectively.
Yep.
But they're now positioning to grab their hard camp here as the shrines come up. It's just a little bit of additional wave pressure in the bottom lane.
Oh,
now.
are they going to medevac top? Ooh.
We're waiting for it. We might see it.
They're just walking. No one wants to ride the new way. Everyone wants to walk still.
We might be seeing a leap here. Excellent leap.
And mosh
coming in. We're gonna see a 3-man mosh pit here. They're gonna be able to pick up the Stukov and the Ragnaros. Excellent ancestral. Gonna be able to save that Anubarak. Anubarak looking for the peels there. ETC gonna be able to pick off the Anubarak as Greymane looks to engage. Crazy Ivan going crazy onto the Anubarak. They are gonna be able to pick up the Anubarak. Chromie and Rhaegar, the only members making it out for the members of Reborn Knights Black. And just as I predicted, the wombo combo of the leap and the mosh pit. See, I said this right from the beginning. But they're looking to pick off this boss as a 100% Zerg wave pushes out that top lane. This boss, I believe, will push out the top lane as well, as it is the least damaged wave, and this is exactly what Game of Thrones is going to be looking for. This is just additional wave pressure on top of the Zerg wave here, but we do see an excellent stun there by the ETC as Rag goes in for that trait, looking to get a little bit of wave clear here and a little bit of poke damage as well. They're going to be able to clear out most of the Zerg wave quite quickly, but they do have a boss to deal with as the Rag fort is nearly to an end. Excellent stun there. Going to be able to apply a little bit of CC to the opposing team. Sonya looking to zone the opposing team as well as ETC. Cursed Bullet going out as well. Mosh Pit not up for another 25 seconds, so they do have a little bit of an opportunity to go in, but they're gonna take the keep and make their way back.
I wonder why they're not making the decision just to hop in that medevac and hop bottom and take that keep. That really looks like something they could very easily do while they're clearing out boss.
If I don't see this medevac go out at least once, I'm gonna be very disappointed. But now that the boss is taken down, they don't really have too much of an opportunity to get a lot of sieging done here, but they are going to take advantage of the level 13 talent. You see the dive of Sonya hop onto the Stukov. Stukov will get cleansed by the Rhaegar there, I believe, as the Q quest of Chromie is completed.
Oh, it's a 3-man silence.
Yeah.
Coming in with that Coon.
Silence and the web landing out onto the medevac, onto the Morales, as medevac comes out, gonna be looking for an escape here, holding on to it, but the medevac does get absolutely destroyed, followed up with the silent Sonya trying to spin away. Gul'dan will be able to hold on for a little, but will be taken down. Sonya, Zunicorn, barely getting away with something like 200 health, 150 health there.
I wonder what those comms are like. It's two instead of just one. They should have abandoned the Gul'dan. The medevac came out. They didn't even focus it. They let it sit for so long, and then it just never left.
Yeah, I was very surprised that medevac sat there for as long as it did, and just as it was about to leave, down goes the medevac. Out pops 3 heroes, and down goes 2 of them. So how many did we lose there? Did we lose 3 there? No. Yes.
Yes, we lost 3. We lost Gul'dan, Greymane, and the medic.
And the medic, yes. So one of the medevac crash did survive. The stun coming up from Sonya, not going to be able to land. They're going to be able to clear out that wave though, as the easy camp is picked up by Reborn Knights here. Level 16 though, just around the corner for the side of Game of Thrones. So this is something that Reborn Knights does need to keep in mind as Rhaegar backs for some mana. They're going to need to be clearing out that top lane, as catapults are now a thing. Bottom keep is also nearly taken down. But we will see opposite shrines being capped this time. Reborn Knight's going to be able to take a shrine here, as the hard camp, the bruiser camp there, is captured from Game of Thrones.
So I think this is really interesting. This is the first time that we've really seen Reborn Knights Black actually having the opportunity to try and play this Ring Around the Rosie with Game of Thrones. They're almost on even talent. Well, they are on even talent tiers, but they're a little behind. That might have actually been their way to kind of crawl back into this game. They're missing a keep top lane, and that makes it very hard to come back. Looks like they're going to set up underneath, see if they can't create a pick, try to cause some chaos, and win another team fight. That web on a medic really set the tone for that last fight, because there was no way for the enemy team to get any heals. Game of Thrones is sticking as a 5-man though. They're not giving them that opportunity. They know their win condition. I don't think they're going to try and ever give them a chance. They're not going to stick around too long and just keep playing the way they were.
Yeah, I would also like to point out that Lava Wave did come out, so I think it's absolutely brilliant pickup here. It does provide a little bit of extra wave clear, and provides a little bit of pressure in the lane as well. You know, you don't want to be sticking around in there for too long. You've got Gul'dan and the Sonya being met up by the other 3 members of Game of Thrones, and Nubrak playing very defensively in that bush, but will be walking into the ETC. The corruption does miss, unfortunately, but the ETC zoning going in. You've got the cursed bullet landing out onto the Nubarak. Now the leap gonna be landing into the time trap of Chromie, excellently placed. Despite jumping over it, you still get grabbed. Magic, we'll go with that.
Wow, that is crazy. That is the best time trap of the game. Strictly MVP, saved the Rhaegar's life. I just don't see how Game of Thrones wins anymore. That's unbelievable.
A Nubarak, unfortunately, going to be caught out. The Ancestral coming out. Excellent Ancestral, though. The Web Wrap going out. The Horrify being used solely onto the Stukov. Ton of damage. Excellent Mosh Pit, though, but the Chromie still far away. Going to be able to get a lot of poke damage in there. Down goes the Stukov and the Rhaegar. Out comes the Lava Wave. Going to be able to try and peel for the Nubarak, but not enough. 3 for 1 right now. ETC being the only member going down, and down goes the Chromie.
Wow.
This is going to be looking like game number 2.
Yep, that is a half health Zerg wave and nothing but a poor little Fire Lord to protect it. No lava wave.
No lava wave, yeah, I was going to say, not even a lava wave here. But that will be game number 2 here, going over to the Game of Throws. GG. Now, that time trap was absolutely brilliantly placed. Like, it's insane because, you know, you allowed not only the Rhaegar to get out, but more than the Rhaegar. It was, I think that leap would have hit, what, 2, 3 people? and I believe the mosh pit cooldown was up. So, we were looking at another leap mosh pit combo there. So it's something to keep in mind that despite the team fight ending like that anyway, it delayed that. You had a little bit of hope.
If that time trap hadn't been there, that last fight didn't exist, and red team just won. There would have been nothing more to talk about. But the time trap hit, gave them a little bit of time. The fight was well played. Medic went out of the game. Unfortunately, Gul'dan lived just above everybody. It didn't seem like anyone was paying attention to him. He was just above. He got a fear off of Stukov, and that's it. And that was literally just one little Dragon's Breath or Sandblast waiting to happen and just end his career. And that would have made a big difference for them being able to close out that fight.
I definitely agree. All right, so it looks like I'm going to have to boost up your audio because we do have a little bit of people
I did boost it during the game when I saw that he posted that.
I might be able to boost you here. Bam! Start talking now.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, bam! 200% volume sold. Done. Easy fix. Easy fix. There we go, guys. Alrighty, what do we got here?
3 for 1 right now. ETC being the only member going down, and down goes the
Okay, so this is a 2-hour scrim block, so we got another hour. Guys, don't worry, don't go anywhere. This is not a best of 3. This is let's play as many goddamn games as we can fit into 2 hours. So, on average, about 3 to 4, maybe a fifth if you squeeze it in there. What are we looking at though? Let's see. Let's try and get him in. Map.
I really hope we see a Warhead Junction.
Now, I'll let you know, Warhead Junction is my team's go-to map. I love that map. It's trolly.
So here's what we've learned from across the 2 series, guys, and this is what you should adapt to in your scrims. Crazy Ivan is a Greymane 1-trick, and Templar T is an ETC 1-trick.
It looks like... Okay, so they are alternating, I believe, or maybe not. I don't know. But nonetheless, it looks like Game of Thrones is going to be picking up Cursed Hollow here, or Cursed Hollow. Let's get this game going on. It's we're going to pull everybody and their mother into this lobby as well, because that's just how it seems to be. Get Templar in here and Pie Maker in here. Swap team.
That would have made a big difference for them being able to close out that fight.
Hedgie is an observer.
I definitely agree.
All right.
Looks like I'm gonna have to boost up your audio.
We'll give the. I don't like putting match history, but these people are gonna want their replays to watch. This is scrim times, so let's make you an observer.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Rag is also.
Oh yeah, that sounds
100%
way
volume,
better.
so done.
Sorry, I was waiting
it?
to see what my voice. It sounds a lot better.
Perfect. Look at this. We're brilliant. Brilliant. We know how to fix things on this channel, ladies and gentlemen.
Just put it to the maximum. Turn it up to 11.
Crank them 200% volume. Easy fix. There we go. All right. What are we waiting for? You need to move over. You need to move over. Why? God.
So I'm going to talk about what we've seen so far and this map they just picked, because Cursed Hollow, in my opinion, is like the standard tournament map.
Yeah, this is like Heroes of the Storm. This is the first map you play when you make a brand new account. Always.
If there was a Summoner's Rift for Heroes of the Storm, this would be Summoner's Rift. This is a very non-unique map, very straightforward, objective, very convincing map to pull out any and all globals you have. We already know that Game of Thrones plays Abathur. This is like your hallmark Abathur map. This is your hallmark Abathur map. So I'm really curious to see what they pull out for this map. And I really hope that Reborn Knight Black has paid attention to the draft, realized what they're banning, and make the adjustments. They're banning Dahaka, who maybe not on Braxis as much, but on Dragonshire in this map, These are very good maps for a Dahaka pick.
Yeah. Do agree with that 100%. Let's move you down just a little bit in volume. That way I don't kill my ears. Portrait synergy, please. Pointing out to Rag here. Rag is asking for the portrait synergy on the side of Game of Throws. But if you did look at the loading screen last time, we did have the 2 Novas on the top and the bottom, and then the 3. I don't actually know what this is. Is this Thrall?
Is it Genji?
No.
Is it Artanis?
No, it's a green dude. It's an orc.
You sure? That kind of looks like Artanis. Oh, that's Samuro.
Oh, it's Samuro. It is an orc. See,
it's Samuro. I wonder which skin that is. Which portrait that is.
I can't even tell. But regardless, there was the 3 orc men in the middle, followed by the 2 Novas on the side. So that is acceptable. Not as on point as Reborn Knights here, though.
Nope, it's not the one I picked. I'm trying to find their portrait. I'm dead on this one now. I will discover which one it is.
Alright, let's see. What do we got? That's fine.
Nope, it's not his progression one. It's not an event one.
No, it's a special one. All right. Let's see if we are good to go here. Let's leave all whispers. We have one person be right back. Okay. No worries there.
So what do you think? What are we going to see here? Are we going to see another double support game, or are they going to go all in? Are we going to see an Illidan?
Ooh, I never even thought about Illidan. If we see an Abathur, I imagine we'll see an Illidan. It's a possibility.
Now, if we see an Illidan,
Otherwise-
do we get the Lily?
On the opposing team?
Are you ready for an adventure?
I am. Alright, let's... What do we got? We are ready now. Both teams are. So looks like Game of Throws is ready. Green Jesus. Goodness. Alright, that's one team ready. Sorry, I'm just reading through my,
Yep, both teams ready.
Alright, alrighty! Let's get game number 3 underway. Make sure I can get everything up and ready.
On such
There
a
we go.
big map, do we see the Garrosh ban? Is it gonna happen?
It's a possibility. I don't actually know.
I think this would be considered one of his worst maps.
I suppose so, eh? Huh. I just hate playing against Garrosh regardless of the map. I just think the dude's just... God, screw that guy. But look at this. We're going to see a potential gray main ban come out right away. This is most definitely a target ban, 100%.
Crazy Ivan's a Grey Main one trick today, so might as well. It's doing a lot of work for them, so I can understand getting rid of it. Unfortunately, I know my former teammate very well, and the best go-to pick Van to put him on tilt is to just ban Vala or pick it away.
But do we see the Vala first pick over something like a Dahaka?
Or a
That's
Garrosh.
Yeah, even Garrosh, right? So,
I kind of hope they leave it.
nope, not today. Not today. 100% ban rate.
But that is an
Instant
ETC steal.
ETC.
So what does Game of Thrones switch to, and do they pick up their tank right now?
About fucking time.
I do think we see Rhaegar, and I think this would be a great chance to pick up Dahaka.
Yes, I do agree with that. This does force you into a double tank, though. In my personal opinion, I think it forces you into a double tank.
The only
like a Muradin.
The only reason I really like that is because you're dealing with an ETC, and tanks typically have the type of counter CC to end a mosh pit.
Yeah, no, they have the kit to deal with it, 100%.
And if we do see Muradin, pray for Playmaker, pray for Haymaker. There's a Muradin, okay. And Dahaka, wow, picking up both tanks right off the bat. Interesting.
We're gonna see 3 tanks come right off. Like, right off the first 3 picks, 3 tanks. 5 warrior game both side. Let's go. No balls.
It's very important. So, Reborn Knights Black has been banning Dahaka, which means it's very important that they picked it up right here. And that is the perfect counter to a tank team. Pick up the percentage health solo laner of Malthael with an Uther, which means we're looking at either a Holy Cow or the Holy Reaper.
Why do people call it the Holy Cow combo?
Because you divine Mosh.
No. It's called the Divine Bovine. Come on.
Divine Bovine. That is the first time I have ever heard such a thing.
It's so much. Holy Cow makes sense, yes, but Divine Bovine just sounds so much better. Like, come on.
Where does bovine come from?
Bovine is cows.
I did not know that. This is a more kind of stream now, apparently.
Where's I wish my editing skills were a little bit better than just the star.
I think we see a second support ban. I think Lucio is a very key ban here, or pick, depending on which way they want to go with it.
How do we feel about a Brightwing ban?
Brightwing would be a good ban because it does kill their global chance. Zul'jin, wow. I'm not really 100% sure what they're thinking there. I get the ban. He's a very strong hero right now. I don't know if it worked with what they were already showing. Lucio makes sense. Either team honestly makes sense banning Lucio.
Yeah.
He's very good with Malthael, and he's very good against Malthael. I really hope they pick up something like Lenara, who has a really good amount of poke to help deal with Uther.
Yeah, it does very well against Uther.
Alongside a very tanky melee or very hard-hitting character like a mage of some sort. Kel'Thas, Jaina comes to mind. This would be a good chance to pick up Rhaegar. I know doing like a Malfurion Rhaegar comp works really well typically against Malthael because you have the Tranquility, which is typically very useful for negating his access. So
yeah, I suppose you pop up Tormented Souls and then you pop up Tranquility, and you just got 2 dudes moving around with circles around them.
Well, you'd go with the Twilight Dream. Malthael actually bursts very quickly past Tranquility. Wow. Okay. Double global.
So we're gonna be looking at the Falstad Vala. Okay.
No Abathur. So I mean, unless it's an Abathur solo support, which okay, we'll do what you got to do.
This is what scrims are for. To make the memes become the dreams. What type of build do we think we'll be seeing out of Falstad here? Do you think we'll be picking up the Lightning Rod talent at level 1 like their bribe? Or do we think we'll be seeing more like a cube mage build with the Vala maybe going...
That's a very interesting question. I don't know would be a better answer.
Right.
Very good single...
Your input. Thank you.
Very good single target damage out of it. Very reliant on the enemy team sticking in the range. And there are some buffs to the range that you can get in your talents that help with that. But I do think the standard auto attack leech into Boomerang would be better suited.
I definitely do agree. I'm just very curious about what they'll be going for their first talent here, especially on Falstad.
Wow. That is a blow-up comp if I've ever seen one.
Oh, yeah. Was not expecting the Kel'Thuzad.
Kel'Thuzad does very well if his team gets rolling on the win. I find in a comeback scenario, he struggles.
Not so hot.
I think really the only option here is Rhaegar. I don't think you take anything other than a Rhaegar here.
I think Kel'Thuzad does better on like 4-man rotation maps, no? Because you get the stacks a little bit faster.
I would agree to that as well.
You're not going to be seeing so many 4-man rotations on this map, and you don't even necessarily have to fight over the tributes. You can give the first 1 or 2 even. So, you delay that stacking capabilities of Kel'Thuzad for even longer. So
I want to talk about this. ETC 1 stun, 2 stun. Uther 1 stun, possibly 2 stun. Sonya 1 stun, possibly 2 stun. Kel'Thuzad 1 stun, 2 stun Root. That is a lot of CC coming out of Reborn Night Black. And I'm very curious to see what they do with this, because that is a very bruiser, kill them first kind of comp, and I don't even think it matters that you have 2 tanks. That's a lot of damage.
it's a heavy front line. It is a heavy, heavy front line. We have 4 melee into what is like a very squishy backline of Falstad Vala. But we do have the Muradin and the Dahaka going to be able to potentially zone for the members of Game of Throws, and I'm very curious to see how this game will go. Let me make sure I've got everything up and running. Yes, I do.
It's very important to note. It's very important to note. Malthaels a lot of time like to jump in right away and get a Divine Shield and just do as much damage as possible while Torment holds up. Gus does a lot of work to get his team away from him at that same time, which means once the shield goes down, he drops very quickly.
Oh yeah, 100%. You do have your trait still active, which gives you a little bit of sustain, but not as much as you would probably be hoping for. But let's get underway. On the blue team, once again, we have the Pie Maker playing Kel'Thuzad, Rain on that ETC, Zedek on the Uther, Crafty Devil playing the Archangel of Death, Malthael, and, okay, here we go, I apologize once again, I'm gonna go Kronos on the Sonya.
Alright, and for Game of Throws, Muradin being played by Templar T, Vala being played by Crazy Ivan, Zunicorn whipping out that Dahaka going for the Global Brushstalker, Rhaegar being played by Kaiser, and Zulkan on your favorite dwarf bird, Falstad.
Dwarf birds. Look at this. What have we got? Stop spinning over here. I'll spin with you guys. In spirit. Spinning in spirit. Alright. We do see a 3-man top 4 Game of Throws. Sonya gonna have to keep an eye out for that. They do go in for a little bit of a nice little poke. Sonya gonna be able to avoid the stun there. Falstad does need to be careful in that middle lane here. He is 1v3. He does have that range poke though. He's gonna be able to play it a little bit safe here. Not gonna get too much stacks off of Kel'Thuzad here until they do rotate. So we do have Uther versus the Falstad in that middle lane now. Bless you. And then we have the Dahaka versus the Malthael as Malthael decides to rotate up to the middle lane, potentially on a gank here. It is a little early, and the Dahaka, keeping in mind that Falstad does have a dive, or a dodge rather, just like that. We do see a 3v2 in the top lane. A couple of stacks coming out for the Kel'Thuzad here onto the Muradin. We do have Uther rotating up to the top lane. We are going to be seeing a 3v3 here. The almost pretty much an exact match here in terms of team composition. We do just have a mage versus an auto attacker. Falstad versus Sonya in the middle lane.
I really want to talk about the rotation that Reborn Night Black did just now, and it would behoove our viewers to learn from that. They left Uther in the mid lane while rotating to the top to avoid losing any soak, which is extremely crucial when you get outmatched led by lanes that way. It was a very appropriate response, and it did wonders to keep them on even experience. I think that Reborn Night Black has the advantage here. They have a dedicated camper out of Sonya, and they're going to get these Siege Knights out just in time for the first tribute spawning. But definitely lacking in the wave clear output, whereas Ivan can really push this lane down while dodging everything, getting that pressure atop that they need just before the tribute spawns without a siege camp being taken.
Now, unfortunately, for the side of Game of Throws, they are going to have the tribute spawn right where their global is, and of course, Sonya going to be able to pick up that siege camp in the top lane. This is definitely an advantage for Reborn Knights Black here, as Sonya now getting bodied by the Muradin, looking for a little bit of stacks here, going to be able to get that Muradin Templar, taking quite a bit of damage here. But we're going to be looking for a little bit of poke here. Malthael still sitting in that bottom lane, getting a little bit of soak. Kel'Thuzad in the middle lane, also getting soaked for their team. Both teams are level 5 right now. Muradin is on the opposing side, but ETC is taking a lot of damage from that Falstad and the Vala. But the Sonya going in, going to be dragged away by the Dahaka. Falstad looking for a little bit of damage there as well. The chains of Kel'Thuzad going to be landing on both tanks here, but Rhaegar going to be able to cap that shrine there, and then they are going to go into, I presume, their lanes again. But we're going to be looking at a 3-man in the bottom this time around. Dahaka all the way up in the top lane, thanks to that nifty trait of his, or his mounting ability, rather. And this will leave Malthael alone in the bottom lane, as Sonya and, what is this? Uther. Rhaegar's on the other team. Uther go and grab this bruiser camp. This will apply a little bit of pressure into the middle lane, but they do need to keep in mind that their bottom lane is getting pressured quite heavily during this time.
So this is where having so much melee can be a very big hindrance to you, especially in the early game. There's always a ranged in the lane that they can be winning, which is very crucial to getting that XP lead. And I don't really like that they're not using the globals very good right now, very well right now, and that is a dead Falstad. I definitely missed that.
All right, so we do have the chains of Kel'Thuzad going out. They're going to be able to attach the Falstad to the Muradin, getting both of those dwarfs together, and you're going to be able to pick off that Falstad. Unfortunately, the dash not placed. I might have gotten interrupted, unfortunately. But they're going to be able to take down that Falstad, which means they get that tribute, and they can make their way back into soaking the lanes. Dahaka versus the ETC in that top lane. Dahaka definitely wins that lane, no?
Yes, 100%. ETC does not have the damage to compete with the wave clear of Dahaka. Wow. They just
excellent
deleted
CC. This is exactly what we are expecting to see from Reborn Knights Black here. You're going to be seeing that CC there. That's what the chains and then the root followed up from Kel'Thuzad, the stun of Uther and Sonya's spear. I don't even know if Sonya was even there, but nonetheless, you're going to be seeing that Muradin being taken down. Objective number 3 is spawning. This will be in the top right-hand side.
It happened so fast, I didn't even have a chance to tab over. And that's the blow-up tempo. That is the blow-up potential of a Kel'Thuzad into a burst stun kind of comp.
Yeah, definitely going to be looking for a little bit more of that now, especially when they reach level 10. They are getting close to reaching that level 10 as well. What do we have here out of Vala, though? We have auto attack into multi-shot build. So, old builds again, but still quite prominent. I see a lot more Q builds nowadays. So
very interesting, because my experience playing with Crazy Ivan, he doesn't really like the multi-shot build. My best guess is he is their main form of wave clear, and that is why they made that adjustment. Really disappointed right now by the use of globals out of Game of Thrones. I keep watching Dahaka or Falstad walk the lanes when they could be really pressuring with the fairly low. They're not low cooldowns, but
45 seconds approximately, 50 seconds.
I believe it's 55 for Dahaka and 45 for Falstad. But you can excellent pickup on a Dahaka, Muradin jumping in, getting the stun, Rhaegar going with the slow, Jits over the wall, but Vala getting in that last auto attack just to clear him over the wall.
Do we have a DC is the question. Maybe some lag.
Maybe. Of course it's lag. You die, of course it's lag. Yep.
Really high ping. Well, I'm in Central, so...
Yeah, I don't know. Going back to the global conversation, though, you can essentially whip out that Falstad fly to get to these lanes or get to these positions, or waiting in the lane and clearing it before joining the group. Him getting caught out before that second tribute due to him walking is a pretty big deal, because that should pretty much never happen to a Falstad. Getting caught while rotating as a Falstad is... It's like...
Upsetting.
It's upsetting.
Alright, let's see. It didn't take anything. No, you're fine. Don't worry there.
Let's see, is there anything different on anybody? I don't see anything that is out of the ordinary. I'm a little surprised Murden went for the damage at 7 instead of Skullcracker. I really like Skullcracker against Sonya players because that random stun interrupting Whirlwind is just a bummer.
Let's make sure both teams are good to go. I will do the countdown. Teamwork in here again?
I'm ready.
No? Nope.
Nope. Ping is greater than 9,000.
Oh no. Oh no.
KR,
Hurry up,
please.
please.
Oh man. Interesting. Adaption and Avatar, by the way. We've already got those level 10s. Both teams are level 10s, so coming right into it. It's going to be a bloody fourth tribute.
Tribute hasn't counted down yet, so that's something to keep in mind.
The real trick question is, are we going to get Gust, or is it going to be a Laser Bird?
I imagine we're seeing Gust here. Almost 100%, right?
I wanna hope for something fun. Maybe Bloodlust into Gust, you know? I'm okay with that.
Alright, it looks like we are ready. Ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1, start it up. Alright, so we got a bunch of map ultimates being picked. We got Mighty Gust, Ancestral Healing, Adaptation, Rain of Vengeance, and Avatar. Shadow Fissure, Tormented Souls, Divine Shield, no pick from ETC just yet, and Leap. I imagine we'll be seeing Stage Dive here, as we do have...
I absolutely love Go for the Throat going for this boss right away. As soon as the tribute spawns, it's not in a safe position. Good boss. Reborn Knight Black hasn't even reacted yet. Now they realize, oh shoot, they're going on boss. That is boss dead after boss just started. That is Gust for control. I think we're going to see a brawl.
Yes, I'm very excited to see this. You do have the Gust, as mentioned before, but the other 4 members are very, very far behind. And unfortunately, Falstad doesn't have that fort removed just yet, so you're going to most likely be pushing people into the corner. The boss is going down, Murden leaping in, the Divine Shield going on to the ETC. Out comes a potential mosh pit, but the Gust going into the corner. Tormented Soul is going down. The Uther will be slain right away. Templar getting quite low. Murden almost dead there. Will be going down potentially here. Great Kel'Thuzad combos. What a team brawl indeed. Kel'Thuzad is still alive, but the drag will come out. Dahaka and Rhaegar will be the only members surviving that brawl. That was a lot to follow.
That was bloody.
I didn't even know what was happening. But from what I do understand is that we saw a Shadow Fissure at least once. No mosh pit because he did pick up Stage Dive.
I understand approaching the global. I feel like he held on to it long enough. If he had grabbed Mosh, that was a 1 fight. They did not lose that fight, and the momentum from winning a fight like that, it carries with you. That is the fight you take with you to the rest of the victory screen.
And as you see already, Game of Thrones 2-level lead. That's 5 kills.
And now it's gonna be a tribute.
Yep, Falstad all the way up in that. They're going to be able to pick off that Sonya as well. They're going to be looking to push down this bottom keep here as they do pick up that bottom fort just before the tribute goes.
That's a dead ETC.
Pick up this ETC as well. Templar jumping in to be able to pick that up. That is no main tank now for the side of Reborn Knights. The chains going out onto the Murden and the Vala.
I think they can end. I think they can end here.
It is a possibility. We do have a talent advantage as long as Kel'Thuzad doesn't blow up anybody. They do need to keep it in mind. The cleanse going out is not enough. This is a pick that they need. Invulnerable going out on to the Tormented Souls. They're looking to pick up that Falstad. Falstad does go down. ETC, the Stage dive coming in. Excellent stunts going out on to the Dahaka and the Muradin. Down goes the Vala. This was an excellent defense here by the side of Reborn Knights Black. They're going to be able to pick up that boss before it takes down the shields. A little overzealous, do we think, here on the side of Game of Throws?
Yeah, Falstad waited heavily on that gust and let the Malthael get on top of her. I get it, he has the Divine Shield, but waiting on the gust let Sonya just jump on her and it finished her off. There's no value out of that. Crazy Ivan just got stuck in a bad place. Once they didn't get the kill on Malthael, it was just done game for him. And with only having 2 tanks and healer left, there was no way to salvage that fight. Thankfully, they didn't lose any more. But they did get the top fort, mid fort, bottom keep, almost the shield of the core, with the wall at top missing for the keep. This is a very large advantage for Game of Throws.
All in all, we would say worth, I guess. Yeah.
Yes. They kept them bottom, which in its own got a lot of value via one-time structure XP, but it did cost them quite a bit of experience by minions. And I think if going for core was a gutsy call and it takes a lot of guts to do it, it didn't really cost them that much and it gave them that experience. But I think if they had decided to go with the global approach, they would have that is a gust into a wall. That is a dead Kel'Thuzad after this.
Yeah, Kel'Thuzad unfortunately getting poked out. A little bit of damage there coming out from the Shadow Fissure. Dahaka looking for a drag here. The Divine Shield does go down, but the body blocks might be enough. ETC going in for his stage dive, looking for that potential peel, but ends up falling himself despite being safe, and this will now allow Game of Thrones to push into this middle keep wall. Definitely going to be able to grab that down. Do we see a potential keep going down? They do have a 3v5 advantage here, a 5v3 should I say. Quest complete from the Dahaka here. They are definitely going to be wailing away into this keep here as Malthael tries to poke down that heavy front line, completing his own quest there as well.
Oh, can he get the low up? That is a dead Kaiser.
Excellent chains there by the Kel'Thuzad. Follow up by Sonya Leap. Going to be enough to pick up that Rhaegar. It's pushing them in the right direction. They're almost level 16. Reborn Knights Black definitely going to be looking for that level 16 talent just so they are on par. They might have to give this tribute unless they are able to get the middle wave soak. Dahaka is going up to deal with that siege camp. That will be taken down. They're not going to lose too much. They are looking to potentially scout out a boss pick, and unfortunately Malthael will be taking the brunt end of the damage here as the chains do unfortunately miss. Uther getting dragged. We might see a Divine Shield, but unfortunately still on cooldown. Malthael now running away from the clone heals, so no healing for Crafty Devil. This will allow, I believe, ETC actually in that bottom lane to grab the objective, but unfortunately they're not going to be able to get too much done here as they are having to push out these lanes and deal with being a member down. This will allow Game of Thrones to be able to go into that top lane, grab their boss as ETC and Sonya look to pressure this bottom four.
I do think the third tribute gives Reborn Black Knight that kind of relief from the pressure that Game of Thrones has been putting on. But unfortunately, losing Uther does not allow them to capitalize on anything. We're about to see Kel'Thuzad go in, Muradin jumping on, easy stun. That is a dead Kel'Thuzad as 5 players collapse on him. Now, they're looking at their bottom boss. It is now a 4v5 again. This is another staggered death. I wonder if Reborn Knight Black is going to go ahead and try and brawl them. They get the jump on Sonya. That is a missed gust. Leap to try and escape, and everything collides. That is a dead Sonya once again. This is game right here. After this boss.
ETC is able to get away thanks to that hearthing position, but Sonya does pay the ultimate price. Gust is down, but it is a fairly short cooldown. What, 1 minute? Compared to the 60, 70, 70-second cooldown that of Leap. Is it 70 seconds?
It's 70 seconds. You were correct.
All right. So they are going to be able to grab this bottom boss, and their keep is... Oops, sorry, wrong chat.
Yep.
Looks like Sonya's mic not working, unfortunately. They're going to have a little bit of issues on the comms there. for those keeping core.
Yep.
Alright, there's a little bit of a talent overlay right there. We do see the multi-shot.
They are on even talent tiers right now. This is Reborn Night Black's chance to come back. If they can win this fight, they have to get an instant burst on something. They cannot let this boss win.
We're looking for that Kel'Thuzad combo coming out here, but the backline is going to be looking like they're going in onto that Tormented Souls coming out, though. The Gust being used right away to deny the engage of the Malthael. Stage dive goes out, but in comes that leap. They're looking to jump onto that backline as Vala is being taken down, but the excellent Ancestral coming out. Dahaka looking to get away. Now the Sonya is getting quite low. Down goes the Malthael. The boss is just wailing away into the core. Dahaka sees this and makes his own way over to the core, and down goes said core. Game number 3 going over to the side of Game of Thrones.
Yep.
What time are we looking at here? We are looking at 11:12. So games wanted to go to 11:30. Now let's ask if they want to do a third.
I think really good
Or fourth.
brawl play by Reborn Night Black. I think they lost after they lost that fight. Like I said, the momentum was just entirely in Game of Thrones court. They got 5 kills. They got the double boss, like the first right off the bat. They then took your keep. They lost a fight, but only lost 2/5 of their team. Just kept rolling with that at that point. There just didn't seem a way to crawl out of the hole from there at that point. Great play, though, coming out of both teams. I really love that last gust at the end to keep Malthael from getting the 5-man Tormented Souls, which would have been a big deal to try and take that fight very quickly and then get back on the boss. But unfortunately, excellent play out of Falstad to disengage and then re-engage.
Yeah, no, definitely. So game potentially, I think we're done. Yeah,
Done?
so it looks
Alright.
like they're having a little bit of tech difficulties. Yeah, no worries. No worries anytime. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that will wrap up the 2-hour scrim block. We roughly ended up about 2 hours. But I would like to say big thank you to Dunkstick for coming out and casting with me tonight. Where can the viewers find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/Dunkstick. It follows my name, DUNKSTIK. No C's in my name. And follow my stream at twitch.tv/Dunkstick as well. Same spelling. I try to keep it all simple for everyone. I don't like to have to confuse anybody.
Awesome. Once again, thank you also to Murda there in the chat. Greatly appreciate the overlay help earlier today. But that will do it, hopefully. Do I have you on tomorrow as well?
Yes, you will see me tomorrow at, I believe, 7 Eastern? Or 8 Eastern?
8 Eastern.
Eastern.
That's if they could get their their scrim back. It looks like they had a last-minute cancellation. So hopefully we'll be on tomorrow. I will let you know, and we'll send out a tweet to make sure that we actually have one going in. But once again, thank you everybody for coming on. Once again, thank you Dunkstick for being a part of today's cast. I hope.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I hope you got a little bit of extra game knowledge and a little bit of casting experience in here, and that's the whole point. Gave me some time to figure out all my casting settings. Found out that you were too low, but yeah. Anyway, thank you everybody. Have a great night. Awesome. Thanks, dude.
Oh, man. Dude, you have really good play-by-play, dude. Like,
Thank you. I haven't casted in so long, and I'm dying right now. My throat's gonna be fucked tomorrow.
I drank a whole bottle of water, so I mean, before I started, and then kept drinking.
Yeah. We will see.
It helps that you kind of dominate the play-by-play, so it really helps for me to be able to take a drink during that time.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, definitely. I appreciate you coming in. Hopefully you'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
We have to wait. I have to wait to hear